This is a podcast from the Business Times.
Good morning. It's Tuesday, June 30th, 2026. From the Business Times news desk, here are your headlines. What you need to know. The U.S. Supreme Court expands Trump's power to fire heads of independent agencies, but carves out the Federal Reserve as a specific exception, blocking Cook's removal for now. Iran and the U.S. send delegations to Doha this week, but Iran says the two sides are not actually meeting each other. Indonesia's court delivers its verdict today in the corruption case against Nadiem, co-founder of ride-hailing giant Gojek. In world news, the U.S. Supreme Court issued a landmark ruling overnight Singapore time, dramatically expanding presidential authority to fire the heads of independent federal agencies, overturning a 91-year-old precedent in the process. In the same ruling, however, the court carved out a specific exception for the Federal Reserve, blocking Trump from removing Fed Governor Lisa Cook in a 5-4 decision while her legal challenge proceeds. Cook, the first black woman to serve as a Federal Reserve governor, said in a statement the case was, in her words, an attempt to remove me on a manufactured pretext because I refused to bow to political pressure. In a related ruling, the court simultaneously greenlit Trump's firing of Federal Trade Commission Commissioner Rebecca Slaughter on Iran. Both sides are sending delegations to Doha this week, but the picture is murky. Trump is dispatching Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff to lead the U.S. team. Iran is sending a technical delegation, but its foreign ministry spokesperson said the visit has, quote, no relation to the Americans' visit, and that no direct talks between the two sides are scheduled. The weekend saw further missile exchanges between U.S. and Iranian forces, testing the interim ceasefire agreed on June 17th. In the region, an Indonesian court delivers its verdict today in the corruption case against Nadiem, co-founder of Gojek and former education minister, who is accused of using his executive powers to enrich himself. The case has attracted international attention and raised concerns about the independence of Indonesia's legal system. Japan's factory output grew just 0.5% in May from the previous month, well below the 1.1% forecast by economists, according to the Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry. Manufacturers surveyed by the ministry expect output to rise 3.7% in June before flattening in July. In Singapore, a naturalized Singaporean has been sentenced to 5 months jail by a court in Bangladesh over the non-repayment of a loan equivalent to 8.8 million Singapore dollars from Islami Bank Bangladesh. Saiful Alam Masood, his wife and son were all sentenced in Chattogram. Lawyers for the billionaire have called the ruling invalid and in breach of the rules of natural justice. In companies and markets, oil fell this morning with investors watching for signs of progress in Doha. Brent crude's more actively traded September contract was down to $73.51 a barrel. Gold held near $4,020 an ounce after falling almost 2% overnight Singapore time, as conflicting signals from Washington and Tehran kept traders cautious. U.S. stocks closed sharply higher overnight Singapore time, with the Dow hitting a record closing high, as weekend hostilities between the U.S. and Iran eased and technology shares rebounded after recent selling. And stocks we're watching include Aspial Corporation. For updates throughout your day, visit bt.sg. And don't forget to check in with our wrap podcast, Market Focus Daily, at 6 this evening for the day's market movements.
This is a podcast by the Business Times. Find more BT podcasts at businesstimes.com.sg/podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts.